You want to know the secret to layering every single time? Lines. And if you watch enough videos on this channel, you know we talk about lines a lot here. Lines rule everything around me. Lean, get the money. Dollar bills, y'all. Anyway, we talk about lines a lot here on the channel because they are the key to demystifying what looks best on you and your body type. And here's just a few things to remember. Horizontal lines shorten and widen, vertical lines lengthen and lean, and diagonal lines divide. But what does that mean when it comes to your body type and layering? Hold on, I'm about to tell you. Relax. So there are 5 major body types. You have the hourglass, the rectangle, the apple, the pear, and the inverted triangle. There's a whole playlist on them on this channel on how to either accentuate them or how to balance them, and you can go in this playlist here. And the same way that you can either accentuate or balance your body type with lines, you can do the same with layering. And I'm gonna show you examples of how layering can help you create the shape that you want and help you to get more mileage out of your wardrobe so you can do more with your clothes without having to spend more money. Okay, so example number 1. This dress seems to kind of overpower her frame. It seems shapeless, you can't see where her waist is, you can't really see the shape of her, the outline of her body type. We don't know what is going on here other than the fact that this dress is just kind of billowing over her body. Then she adds the sweater, and now we have the illusion of a waist created by the horizontal line formed by that sweater. Now you notice how she kind of put the sweater up a little bit, she kind of put the sweater down a little bit. With styling, you can adjust where you want that illusion of the waist to be created, which also makes it amazing for creating balance in a torso. So whether you have a long torso or a shorter torso, you can decide where that line goes to either shorten a long torso or to elongate a shorter torso. Did I say that right? To either elongate a short torso or shorten a long torso. I still don't know if I said that right. I feel like I'm glitching in real time here. Then she adds the jacket, which adds visual interest to the look. So the look is no longer just like, oh, I just, threw on this big ass dress. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I did this with intention. The jacket also adds like this visual, like, you've got the green and white print there. So you've got a really nice color. Also the longer layers of the jacket. So it's creating this very long vertical line that is also helping to elongate. It's helping to lengthen and lean, all while pulling the look together. And she continues this elongation also with the boots, which happen to be in a similar color as the dress. Did y'all peep that? Okay. So in example number 2, you can add either a long vest or a long sleeveless coat. This is probably one of my favorite, well, actually all of these are kind of like my favorite ways to layer, but this one, it's kind of like cheating because it's a little easy here. So the vertical lines of that long vest or that long sleeveless coat, that is going to lengthen and lean. So it's going to give you these nice long lines that'll make you look taller and leaner. You're not just going to put varying lengths, of the layers in and then boom, 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 think you're done. No. We gotta look at the full picture here. You want to be mindful of where those layers hit. If they are hitting you at your widest area, it can make that area look even wider. So for example, if you're someone with a pear shape where your hip width is the widest part of your body, if you wear a layer that hits you at that widest part, and that's not what you was trying to do, you was not trying to accentuate what you already accentuating, you might not want to do that. But if you do, go in and let have. Who am I to tell you what to do? Now, this type of layering can work on all the body types, even though I only kind of mentioned pear here. But if you think of how the varying body types and where your widest area is, and you're just being mindful of where those horizontal lines hit, you can create a shape that is more balanced, or you can accentuate it. And then, I just wanted to point this out here for rectangles because a rectangle already has like, these long lines can kind of accentuate a rectangle shape. If you want to create the illusion of a waist, you want to do that with a horizontal line or a diagonal line. Like if you really want to make things look really snatched, you get you a diagonal line somewhere around the waist area. You can do that with ruching. You can do that with a design that's in your top. Like if you have some stripes that are diagonal or some, horizontal stripes. Horizontal stripes are going to create a waist. Diagonal lines can create a waist too, but it's going to create like that. Okay? You can do that with belts. You can do that with like a peplum belt or by a strategic tucking of your blouse. You can create the illusion of a waist with almost anything if you put your mind to it. No. You just need to remember what lines can do, what certain lines can do, and how they create a shape and make your body look. So you really gotta be mindful of your footwear choices here. The horizontal lines created by the socks as well as the higher top of the sneaker kind of, it cuts off your visual leg length. I would have loved to see this outfit in either a flat mule or a heeled mule, even better, because in a heeled mule, they obviously give you a little couple of inches of height that will also elongate you. But even if you want to wear a sneaker with something like this, I would go with a sock that's not gonna show and make that horizontal line on the leg like that. And I would go for a lower top sneaker, because the more leg and foot skin that you show, the longer and leaner you're gonna make your legs look. And you don't have to do that with the naked foot and leg skin showing. You can do that either with a shoe or some sort of footwear that is similar to your skin tone, or that kind of like if you're wearing a dress or a long skirt, something that matches that color. I might lose some of y'all here with this next one, but I just want you to hang in there and hear me out, okay? And it's layering coats over coats, okay? Listen, now I know you're probably like, well, dang, how many coats do I need? But if you, like me, get hot cold, whether you're going through the change or not, because I was in my 20s, 30s, and now in my 40s, getting hot cold in the cooler months here. Now, let me explain to you what hot cold means for me. So it gets quite cold here in New York City in late fall and, of course in the winter and, deep in the middle of winter, right? So I'm layered up. I'm making sure that I'm warm. I have my coat. I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, like all of that. However, if I'm walking around Manhattan, moving around, I'm also getting hot and I'm sweating. So it's like 32 degrees, but I got sweat dripping all over my body. You know what I mean? So layering coats or jackets is perfect because it's like, I'm always prepared. And who does not like an always prepared fashionista? Because if you get cold, you keep your layers on, you get a little warm, you peel a layer off. I mean, now you can't do this with every single coat and jacket out there. Let's go over a couple of examples in how this works. Because you're not trying to look like Joey during that episode of Friends where he put on all of the clothes. You don't want to do that. One way that I do this is I love this kimono coat that I got from Free People, which I believe they still sell. Maybe not still in this cream color, but they have it in other colors. I love this piece because I have worn it over blazers. I have worn it over leather moto jackets. Because the sleeve is quite wide, I wouldn't even really call it a sleeve, but the arm opening is quite wide. And because the coat is kind of like oversized, like I think it's a one size fits all kind of action, if I remember correctly, or maybe, I don't know. The coat doesn't really close, so it's like you can, put a belt over it. You could leave it open like that. You can kind of hold it closed like this, like, I'm just gonna hold my coat closed like this. I don't know why I did that voice. Ignore me. Or I've done it with this camo sweater, similar concept, but a much longer, sweater coat, kimono coat, sweaterkin, cardigan, coatigan, whatever you want to call it. But obviously there are other ways you can do it with trench coats, a wrap coat, any coat that's like slightly oversized. Or if the coat that you have underneath it is quite fitted, like this image here, where she has the very fitted denim jacket and then she has the trench over it, you could do it with that too. Let's move on to example number 4, which is, number 4 is sneaky. 4 is sneaky AF, and I think you will love it, especially because sometimes you hear layering and you feel like you're gonna have all these layers of clothes. It's gonna make you sweat, it's gonna make you look sloppy, and it doesn't have to be that way, okay? Because you can always layer with thinner pieces. You know what thinner pieces is, I don't have to go into that whole spiel. However, this sneaky way, look at this video right here. Like, you can get the look of having the untucked blouse underneath your sweater without having all of that underneath you. You can also do this with a Dickie. A Dickie's kind of like the opposite of what she had on, where you have the collar and then you have like, I'm not even quite sure what that's called out of the collar, but you basically just have the top of the shirt, nope, not the sleeves part, and nothing else. So you could even have that layered look with a more fitted sweater, more fitted top, without having all the bulk underneath. And I'm gonna link to some Dickies and some other like sneaky things, below in the description box, so make sure you check that out. Now, if you remember the way that lines make your body look, and I'll give you a refresher. Horizontal lines, shorten and widen, so you wear them in areas where you want to shorten and widen. You avoid them in areas where you don't. Vertical lines, lengthen and lean. You wear them in areas where you want things to be lengthened and lean. You avoid them where you don't. Diagonal lines, divide. You wear them where you want some division. You avoid them where you don't. So if you master that, plus the examples I gave you in this video, you are going to be a layering pro, okay? But if you need a refresher on what looks good on your body type, make sure you head on over to my dressing for your body playlist, because I've got all the information that you need for your body type. Click on it here and I'll see you there.